welcome to another Checiegirl Creations DIY video. So today I will be creating a greeting card using some Winsor & Newton watercolors, and that's the sketchbook pocket set, 5x7 pre-folded greeting card and for the base, and that's white, and I'm folding it there using a bone folder to make sure the crease is nice and like sharp. I'll just be doing a very simple design, so let's jump straight into it. I'm using yellow, I can't remember the name, I think that's a cadmium yellow, vermilion I believe, and I can't remember the name of the red, though vermilion is a kind of red. So first I'm just doing a circle, a very like messy circle, it's not perfect as you can see, and then I'm just using the excess paint from my brush to splash on to the background, because since this is just like a one layer card, it'll be really simple and I didn't want the background to be too plain. And now I'm doing 5 little circles. I like to keep things in an uneven number. I think that looks quite nice. And I'm doing that in like the dark red, and again adding some splashes. And it's okay if it gets into the yellow flower. I think that just adds to it. I guess you can mask if you like, but I didn't really mind. And now I'm going to do another circle just like I did with the yellow. But this one is going to be a little bit smaller. I didn't want them to look like in the same size. And I'm using a sea white brush there, and I believe that is a size 6, so quite small, and it has quite a nice point, so I'm able to create a really nice circle there, and again adding some splashes. So now I'm going to add in the stems, and you can see these are really simple flowers, quite abstract, but you can still see the flowers, which is really nice. And this in all took like 10 minutes, but that's including drying time, and I let that dry like naturally. So if you wanted to use a heat gun, feel free, though that would like curl your paper, which is why I let it just dry by itself. So yeah, it just took like 10 minutes, so it's really simple. And now I'm putting in the leaves, so you can see with the stems I just went straight down, nothing fancy, and I'm just going with doing some leaves at the bottom of like those like round flowers, though I'm not really sure if you would call those leaves. I can't remember the name of it. I'll write it at the bottom of the screen when I Google what the name of it is. And when I'm adding the splashes of the green, I'm focusing more on the bottom because thinking that it would look like grass. And when I was splashing the colours for the flowers, I was focusing more on the top because I knew I was going to do that with the green. So now I'm adding in some shading with this, using the same colours. I didn't add any black or brown or anything to add the shading. I'm just going over, like glazing over, where I would think the shading would be, since the light I'm imagining is coming from the right. So I'm doing that on all of them, and I'm also adding a little bit of a dark center where like the stamens would be. And again, splashing that color. So you'll get like some really fine ones if you do it with quite a dry brush, really like big splotchy ones if you do it with like a more wet brush. And depending on how like you hit the brush on like your hand or another paintbrush, the splats will look slightly different. And I've just mixed some Viridian with the sap green to add some depth to the stems, as well as those leaves. I'm just adding like the middle of it, so that looked quite nice. And I will go over and strengthen up that sap green. I thought it looked kind of pale, especially next to the flowers. So I'm doing that now. And the sap green in this set is quite pale. It's not as pigmented as the others, so I do have to go over a little bit more than I would the other colors, especially that really like rich red. That doesn't take much to get dark. So yeah, so I'm just going over, and I'm going really slow. So even though this didn't take long, I am going quite slow when I do like the stems, especially since I want it a kind of straight line. And yeah, so I'm just adding some final splashes, and I will let that dry and go on to the next step. So now I'm using this fine liner. It's a Staedtler fine liner pen. I'm not sure what size it is, doesn't say. And it's not permanent, so you can like use a Sharpie or something. So I'm just literally going in, you can see very quickly, just doodling around the flowers and adding some like scribbly lines on the stems. So yeah, I'm just being really sketchy with it, not paying attention to what I'm doing much at all. And you can see I'm also adding some dots as well in the middle there to like for the stamens. And I thought that looks quite nice, but I did think it looked kind of plain. So first I'm going to add this Uniball Sigma. This is the broad one for highlights, and again going in where the light would hit, which is the right side, as well as adding some spots in that stamen area. So you can see that looks really nice already, but I thought it looked a little bit plain, so now I'm just going in and adding some more doodles. So first I'm adding some dots, again using my same fine liner, and then just some scribbles around the edge, which I thought looked quite cool. And I'm also doing that on all the flowers. I didn't add any scribbles on the small flowers, but I can't remember if I did. You'll see in the photos at the end. And I also added to the stems, and I forgot to add some dots to the leaves in frame. So, but you will see in the photos that I did at the end. So that's pretty much it. I'm just making some of the dots a little bit darker in the stamen area, and I will add some splashes with some black ink just to ground everything. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and click that bell so you get notified whenever I upload a video. And don't forget to check out my mixed media boxes, which the June one is now available in the links in the description. And I will be creating more of these greeting cards, so do keep a lookout on my social media pages for when I do, and that'll also be on my Ticktail site. So thank you for watching. I hope you join me again for another video. Bye!